put it simply, microbiomes are a community of millions and millions of microbes living together in a certain habitat. The microbes within the microbiome interact with each other, and the microbiome itself to keep the ecosystem functioning. The root and soil microbiome is a microbe community living in the soil or roots of plants. It is one of the most diverse microbiomes in the world, with millions of unique species of microbes. Microbes such as bacteria, fungi, archaea, viruses, and protists inhabit this microbiome, and this microbiome usually consists of multiple microbe-plant interactions to benefit both of the species. An example of a properly functioning root and soil microbiome is the most ancient discovered soil microbiome, known as the rhizobiome. An Agaricus bisporus from the honey mushroom strand, known as Emiliarii ostoyae, is buried deep under the soil in the Blue Mountains, in the Pacific Northwest, and is around 2,400 to 8,650 years old, and it is spread over 2,300 acres of land. These microbes and plants have a very special relationship to benefit both of them. Plants lure other microorganisms to its biome by sharing photosynthesized sugars from their leaves into the deep soil and roots. These sugars are called exudates, and when plants are in an early stage of their life cycle, they attract more useful microbes by exudating more sugars. The microorganisms detect these exudates and travel towards the root of the plants, and like a trade, they give the plants some of their nutrients, water, and protection so they can get more exudates. This is called symbiosis, and most of this happens near the plant's roots. The root area is called the rhizosphere, and some species of fungi can even use microscopically small tubes to connect with pockets of nutrients in the soil to share the nutrients with other plants and microbiomes, as well as to absorb them faster. The marine microbiome is a microbial community in marine habitats. The microbes in those microbiomes help retain the ocean by cleaning it, providing small light sources, and as well as helping shape clouds. And these microbes can even unite themselves with other marine organisms, which makes those organisms their microbiome. Now, how do these microbes assist with cleaning the ocean? The microbial loop is a process that keeps the ocean clean. The microbes hang around larger grazers and pick up the scraps from the food that would otherwise linger in the ocean and accumulate into waste. The scraps are so microscopic that only microbes would willingly eat them, and they recycle the scraps indirectly by getting eaten by larger organisms, and the energy and waste absorbed by the microorganisms get passed up the food web, supplying larger organisms with extra nutrients. After this, the cycle continues, which keeps the ocean as clean as possible. Smaller and weaker fish need protection against predators, but have no physical weapons to defend against them, so they go to microorganisms for help. Blowfish host a special type of bacteria that can emit a toxin known as tetrodotoxin as a form of protection from larger predators. These toxins reside in the blowfish's organs, along with the microbes producing them. If a predator gets exposed to the toxin, it can stop its heart from pumping blood into its body, which will ultimately lead to its death. And when the blowfish are at an early stage of their life cycle, they gain these bacteria from their surrounding environment, and the bacteria will attach themselves to their organs. In return, the microbes are supplied with food and scraps from the blowfish's meals. And some other of these toxic animals, such as the blue-ringed octopus, also emit the same toxin, because they acquired the toxin from the same environment and have evolved to absorb them without dying. In the deep sea, 1,800 meters below the surface, most species of fish need light to hunt and survive. And some fish can't produce light by themselves, so they evolved to be able to attain the ability by utilizing tiny bacteria, known as photobacteria. These bacteria have the ability to glow in the dark. They are known as luminescent bacteria, and when they live in a creature as a microbiome, they usually inhabit a light organ within the creature, which causes it to produce light. The anglerfish, for example, has an esca, which is a glowing ball-shaped lure at the tip of its rod. Photobacterium occupy the esca, and the fish uses it as bait to attract prey to its jaws. The bacteria, in return, gets to eat some of the microscopic leftovers and scraps that the anglerfish leaves as a food source. Most fish, such as the bobtail squid and anglerfish who need this type of bacteria, find it in the deep ocean water column. They usually have methods such as hairs to bring the photobacterium closer, and once the bacteria enters the host's light organ, it will start to multiply by mitosis and colonize the organ, causing it to glow exponentially. The skin microbiome is a microbiome that consists of microbes such as viruses, archaea, fungi, bacteria, mites, and physical components which synchronize with each other as a community. Since these microbes can adapt to all the features of the human skin without any retort, they are generally harmless to the human skin site, and the surroundings of the microbes can really influence their interactions with the microbiome. Sebaceous areas, which are areas that have oil glands, usually house Propionibacterium, while moister areas house the Staphylococcus and Corynebacterium. But the drier skin sites house the most diverse array of microbiomes. Gram-positive bacteria such as Streptococcus are very abundant in these drier skin sites. Fungi and gram-negative bacteria are also very commonly found in these sites. But the commensal microbes are the ones that support the microbe's overall health and are most important in a skin microbiome. Commensal microorganisms are rudimentary for a functioning and healthy skin microbiome. These microbes use certain mechanisms such as extra use of mitosis to restrain production of negative and invasive microbes by producing antimicrobials to support the physical and chemical maintenance, which is also known as homeostasis of the skin site. But these communities of commensal microbes can have disruptions that are usually related to acne and eczema, and which are common skin diseases. These diseases are harmful to the skin as they are the result of when dead skin cells and lipids are clogged up in hair follicles, which is on nearly every piece of skin on the human body. Microbes are everywhere, and most people just think that they are useless components to nature because of their minuscule size. But without microbes, many of nature's thriving ecosystems wouldn't function as well without them, contributing and maintaining their microbiome's condition, and they should get more appreciation and recognition than they deserve.